it was just a lot, and it got to the point where I am going to try very hard not to get emotional in this video, but I couldn't get out of bed. It was such Hi everyone, it's Ndao. Welcome back to another video. If you haven't seen my previous videos, please go ahead and watch those, but only after watching this. There's my dog. So what I wanted to chat about today is career stuff. I quit my job without another job lined up. I wanted to talk about some of my thought process towards that and what I'm currently doing. Let me give you guys some background. I did my articles at a Big 4 firm, and then I did the 3 years. I got promoted to manager. I did that for 14 months or so, 16 months? Did that for 16 months, and then I left without a job. When I started articles, I didn't, completely hate audit. I hated audit in university, don't get me wrong. I think it made no sense. And I didn't go into my job with that sort of mindset. I was excited about learning. Everything was new. Everything was unfamiliar. So that was an environment that I really enjoyed being in. One of the first red flags that indicated to me that this may not be the path for me is that for those of you who aren't in audit, there's a hierarchy. There's you as an associate 2, seniors, and so on. But essentially on an audit team, your senior as a first year is your first point of contact. My senior was miserable. My senior didn't enjoy their job. And they were very vocal about it. And it raised red flags in my mind. At the time, I thought, am I going to become this person, or am I going to have a different experience? I think at the time, I had so many goals and aspirations, and I wanted to be, this person in my mind, and it didn't entail being like these people. I didn't want to be sad. I didn't want to hate coming to work. When all of this was going down, I would say my first year, I was like, you know what? I don't think this is going to be for me. Already, I feel like my personality doesn't really fit here. These people, their jobs are their lives. They eat, breathe, sleep, audit, and I don't want to do that. That to me already should have been a good sign that I shouldn't have stayed. So fast forward to when I'm a senior, right? I mean, second year, there's nothing really exciting there. When I was a senior, to my surprise, I wasn't completely miserable. It was bearable. I hope that makes sense. It was so bearable that I decided that, you know what, I can do this for another year. The year is 2019. I applied to be a manager at work, and I got the manager position. I was really excited about that, and I think a lot of exciting things were happening in 2019. They're probably even more exciting now because we went into a pandemic the very next year, but I went to Bali. I had lined up secondment. I had just bought myself a new car. Things were good, guys. I was doing so well. I was doing so well at work. I was doing well at work. There honestly wasn't sort of reason to be completely miserable. You have to take the good with the bad. Towards the end of the year, I went on secondment, and this is in December now, 2019. And then I'm on secondment, I'm in the US, I'm in Houston, I'm having the time of my life, and something clicks in me that this is not what you're supposed to be doing. Because I was doing well at work, audit was familiar. I felt like, okay, I won't completely fail at this, so let me just stick to my comfort zone. Let me just do what I know how to do and, call it a day. And maybe later on, I'll figure it out. I just looked at these people and I'm just like, this is not me. I thought maybe I was different to my managers and my senior managers back in South Africa, but I realized that this is who these people are. There's a certain criteria of people that can do this, and I don't fit into that. And I don't need to be in South Africa. I could be in Singapore, I could be in the US. It's always going to be the same. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. Stop feeling comfortable. You're going to do great at whatever else you decide to do. Okay, sure. So I'm on secondment, guys. My employer thinks I'm going to come back afterwards, and I'd already made the mental decision that, okay, I'm not going to go back. I'm going to look for a job while I'm here. I'm here until what, May? It was only January at the time. I'm here till May. I'll have more than enough time to look for a job. And I think after this realization, I started to not really enjoy the work that I was doing. I think the fact that I was abroad made it a lot better, but it felt like it was a countdown. It's like, okay, now only 2 more months of this, only, you know, this much. It was like a countdown to something better. Then the pandemic happened. It was on a Sunday when Cyril had a family meeting saying that he's going to close the borders. The next day I got given an ultimatum by my employer: are you coming back, are you staying? Because my contract wasn't up. I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. Everything is going to be closed anyway, because we had already started working from home and all of that. And I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna come home. Got on a plane the next Thursday, came back this side, and I started work the next Monday. Because this entire time I was preparing myself to never see these people again. I know that sounds horrible, but mentally I prepared myself to not come back here. Yes, it was remote working, but I didn't think I would, you know, be working on these clients anymore. I think it was very difficult for me to do that mental transition and check back in. The checking back in was so difficult. Not only was this not part of my plan, I didn't want to do this anymore. Like, I didn't enjoy it and I didn't want to do it. I just sucked it up. The partner that I was working for at the time was amazing. I was like, okay, you know what, now just give yourself up until the end of the year. You'll be fine. It was a time where I went back to the office. I sat with my coach, who's also a really good friend of mine, and I was just like, bruh, I knew in my mind that I wanted to, you know, do something else. I didn't really know what that was at the time, but I sat with him and we sort of came up with a plan. And he was just like, look, I know you don't want to do this, but what's important is that in everything that you apply yourself at work, make sure that it contributes to whatever it is that you're going to be doing in a year from now. All of this is happening in April. In September, I realized that I've become the person that I didn't want to be when I started working. My job was my life. I think that the remote working made it so much worse. Work from home became work 24 hours, 7 days a week, all day, every day. And, you know, being in a position where you don't want to do what you're doing. You're having this internal struggle. You're facing all the challenges that come with the profession. It was just a lot. And it got to the point where I'm going to try very hard not to get emotional in this video, but I couldn't get out of bed. It was such, like I was saying, my mental health really took a toll during this process, and I knew that I couldn't do it anymore. I felt as though, like, So I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't get out of bed. I was unmotivated. I was questioning so many things. I was like, am I a lazy person? Like, is it because I'm lazy? You know, and I've never been that type of person. Like, I've taken my work very seriously. In October, I was like, come hell or high water, I'm not going to be here in May. I'm not going to be here in May. I am going to be doing something else, or I will be unemployed. I saved up every rand and cent that I could. I looked at my budget, I reassessed it, I cut things out that I didn't need, and I put so much money towards my savings. January comes, I hand in my resignation. I have no job lined up. All I knew is that I will be doing something different when I leave this place, and I'm going to trust God that that's exactly what's gonna happen. And I had saved up enough money. I knew exactly, you know, how long this money would last me, and I was okay with that. I didn't mention this earlier, but another reason why I quit my job without another job in line is that my notice period, guys, it was 3 months. I was talking to recruiters and they would be like, my girl, you know no one's gonna wait for you that long. I had interviews or lined up that they were trying to set up for me, and they were just like, yeah, this is something that they want to fill immediately. At this point, it felt like there was no other way. I just had to take a leap of faith. I would look for a job in the next, you know, that 3 months in my mind was enough to find another job. And I was just like, screw it, I'm done, I'm gone. Fast forward to, I would say, 2 months and 3 weeks in, I get a call from my current employer, and they say, look, we have this client in San Francisco that's looking for a technical accountant, and we think that, you know, you could really do well. They sent me a case study maybe the weekend before I resigned, so my last day would have been the following Friday. They sent me the case study and I had no time. I had no time because I was working Saturday, Sunday, late hours. I was just like, you know what, maybe I should just take some time off. Maybe I don't want to like start this new journey. Maybe this is a sign that like I should just wait. I called the recruiter and I'm just like, my guy, your case study is not done. And he's just like, no, Dao, they really want you, it's fine. Just tell me when you're gonna get it done. I was like, okay, cool, I need to come up with a plan, because in my mind I've given up. I'm just like, I'm not gonna get this job. Like, look at me and all my excuses. So I was like, okay, I will give it to you by Friday. Friday is my very last day. Work at this point is still very intense. I was just like, Dao, just take some time. I remember I knocked off at 8 p.m. that day, and I sat on that very island. Where is it? That very island. And I whipped out my laptop and I did this case study. I'm an IFRS technical accountant. Like, we work with IFRS in South Africa. This was US GAAP. These were things that I had never understood before, but I was just like, Lord, take the wheel, you're gonna give me the answers. At this point, I didn't even have a personal laptop, guys. I was using my work laptop. I had to hand it in at 8 o'clock the next day. I finished this case study at 3. On the Monday, my employer hits me up and it's like, yo, these people, they want to do an interview. I was like, oh, okay, I can do an interview. Like, they're like, when are your dates? I was like, I can do it on Wednesday. As I'm preparing for this interview, I'm looking at the job spec and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. For me, it literally ticked all the boxes of what I wanted. You know, I'd worked for a big firm. I told myself, I don't want to do that again. I want to work for like a startup. That in my mind, when I was like looking for jobs, I was like, I want to work for a startup. I want to work for something where I can take ownership in. I want something that, you know, I can build. I can see where like my hours are going, because it's very difficult to do that in a big organization. I prepared for that interview and I met with the team that I currently work with now. And they loved me, guys, because I'm lovable. I'm just that girl. And I'm gonna use my employer and my sort of my client interchangeably because of the nature of the work I'm in. But my ultimate client is in San Francisco. So I did it on Wednesday evening, and I went to bed, and by the time I woke up, I got a call saying, you got the job. So I was unemployed for a whole 3.5 days. It's crazy. Guys, it's so crazy. I don't even know how that happened. I think the takeaway is that what's for you will come to you, and it's not going to be at your time. You just need to trust the process. What I currently do, I don't know if it's like worthy of a different video. I help tech companies list on the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. That's what I do in a nutshell. There's a lot of work that goes behind it from an accounting perspective. That's my job. Okay guys, that's everything. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want me to do a video about a day in my life, because right now it is, what time is it? Oh my gosh, I have to start working. I start my days at like 1 p.m, 12 p.m. so that's why I can film this in the morning. But if you want more information on what it is I do, and you know, some of the maybe current challenges that I have or whatever, let me know and I shall make a different video, maybe a Q&A, who knows. Anyway, bye.